Okay, I think that we can start. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for your interest and for joining to this webinar. This is the second webinar of the series of webinars we have in CYBERWISER.eu in the context of the Open Pilot activity. It is about SQL injection. My name is Antonio Alvarez. I am with Atos, and I am the project coordinator for CYBERWISER.eu. I will conduct the webinar, and I am going to give you a brief introduction to what we are going to do today. I'm going to put this in full screen. Okay, this is the agenda we are going to follow. After my brief introduction, I will pass the floor to Artem Korytny, who is one of our panelists from RIA. He will give an introduction on the CYBERWISER.eu platform. Then Andrzej Siknik from XLab will introduce today's topic, which is SQL injection. And then we will move to a practical example with an exercise that can be run in our cyber range. And this will be conducted by Andrzej Siknik himself and also Guillermo Juste from Atos. And then, in the meantime, of course, you can pose your questions using the chat. We will try to answer you on the fly. In any case, we will have a specific time, something like 10 minutes to answer your questions. And finally, there will be a reminder about this Open Pilot activity to which you are invited. In any case, I will talk about it more in detail now. So first of all, for those who don't know the project, this is an innovation action run in the context of the Horizon 2020 framework in the European Union. Our objective is to build a cyber range platform for professional training. We started in September, 2 years ago, and the project now is in the final stage, and we will finish in February 2021. One of the main activities we have is to recruit as many as possible end users, and for that we have an Open Pilot stream. And in this Open Pilot stream, you can get the chance to use the platform for free. The only thing you have to do is to register your pilot, to register your request in our website. At the end of the webinar, I will show you how to do it. And it's a very interesting activity because for free you can try our platform and also learn very useful things in terms of cybersecurity, given the context we are living these days, especially with the COVID crisis, in which the risk to suffer cyber attacks is clearly increasing. I am going to give you some figures about the attendance to this webinar, according to what we have registered in our website when you submitted your request to join. Most people come from the large enterprise and also from academia and research. These are our two main profiles, but also we have people from IT consultancy, from the public sector, and also from SMEs. Regarding professional role, the vast majority belongs to advisory and consultancy, and also to IT specialists and IT architects. Also, we have representatives of some other profiles, for example, CISOs or head of information or threat analysts, more technical profiles like vulnerability analysts, for example. Also professors from academia. In terms of country, most people come from Italy, but we have up to 14 countries represented today in total. So thank you for your interest to join today. In terms of gender balance, most people are male, with 83% of the attendees. What about the Open Pilot scheme? Here you have some of the organizations that have already joined. Just some examples. This Open Pilot scheme intends to help you to increase your skill levels in terms of cybersecurity, and it's addressed to not only technical people but also non-technical. We can adapt our activities to the profile of the people who are joining the activity. That's why we say it is customizable. We are open to any European organization, no matter the sector you belong to or your size. So if you are interested, you can just contact us and submit your request through our website. And the only cost for you will be just your investment in time and resources, but it won't be too much. We can adapt to your needs. If you need more time, we can, of course, offer you the possibility. If you just want to grab to get a glimpse of the platform and do one to exercise and nothing else, of course, we can adapt it to your needs as well. When you show your interest to join, there are 4 steps. In the first step, we fill this sheet in which we gather your user requirements, the basic information about you, the learning path you are choosing, the desired competencies for your trainees, and also, if it's possible, some description of your company IT infrastructure, any specific needs related to your business. Also, of course, when you want to start, when you would like to finish, an estimation of the number of people you would like to train. This is important for us in order to book the infrastructure we will need, and also the profile of the people that will be involved. So these are the main information items we will collect from you. Once we have this information, we will ask you to give us the list of people who will participate in the trainings, and we will prepare your pilot, your workspace in the platform. Once it is registered and you are ready to start, we can design a learning path for you. At this point, we have a standard welcome package composed of 2 exercises along with the corresponding training materials, which are about password cracking and also SQL injection. This is for welcome. It's a standard. And after that, we can discuss with you what you want to come next, and we can customize your learning path. And once you finish, we expect that you have acquired new cybersecurity skills that are highly demanded nowadays, that you will be ready to promptly and adequately react to cyber incidents if cyber criminals target you. But in any case, it's important to know that cyber resilience is not a journey. It's a journey, not a destination. So you will have to keep learning always and evolving your cybersecurity abilities, because cyber criminals are always challenging us with new types of attacks. And finally, we have a cybersecurity professional register initiated in this project, where you can insert your information once you have completed our courses. And by doing this, you can be reachable by people who are interested in cybersecurity services. So it's interesting to be part of this register. And this is my brief introduction. This being said, I would like to pass the floor to Artem Korigny from RIA, who will give you a brief presentation about the CYBERWISER.eu platform.
Thank you, Antonio. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Artem Korigny from RIA Group, and now I'm going to briefly describe the CYBERWISER.eu platform. So first we'll start from the application, where is it and what it's for. So this is training platform for cybersecurity area, and the main things which is, I think that's important to highlight here, is that It is useful and be good to use not only by the experienced professionals who already understands what is the cybersecurity, but also it's possible to be used for students or trainees who just start in their path in the cybersecurity area. In terms of the sectors, it's also possible to be involved for public and private sectors, and really difficult, the different verticals, because it really depends how deep you're using, how deep is your infrastructure and your data spread in your business processes or any other activities. So that's only will be meaningful for training scenarios and training path here. And about the trainings, so how one of the main approaches which is used here is not only showing the theoretical part or how to prevent something, but also to show to the student, to trainee, how the vulnerabilities or how the weak configured infrastructure may be exploited. And during the trainings, you are able to wear the red or blue shirt of the red or the blue team, so to check from the attacker or defender perspective the scenario and build a fresh vision about the approaches and about the way how the data needs to be protected or infrastructure need to be configured properly in terms of the modern cybersecurity standards. And one of the main goals is to develop the solid cybersecurity culture worldwide, Europe, everywhere. So from the more technical perspective and how it looks and what it is, CYBERWISER.eu platform is the integrated product, and it combines the cyber range and the training web portal. So the web portal is used in order to provide trainee, student, or any other user the training materials, the training path, and the training progress of the student, and all materials, which is all theoretical materials, which allows you to prepare for the practical exercise in the cyber range. So the cyber range, what is it? It's the part of the infrastructure, is the real infrastructure with the computation power, which allows you to emulate the part of the critical infrastructure which you may be faced with in the real world, and it allows you to build the training scenario on top of this critical paths of the infrastructure with the real networks, real hosts, and so on and so forth. And in order to make this training scenario more and more meaningful and useful for a student, it allows to include the advanced components there, like anomaly detection, reasoner, a lot of monitoring sensors and vulnerability assessment tools, and all of that parts also like performance evaluators provides the trainer the real-time perspective about how trainees are dealing with the training scenarios, what is their progress, what is maybe any their gaps there or something, and it's possible to track in real time. Yes, so all these trainings it develops in using graphical user interface, mostly in the cyber range. So the number of working activities with the XML source scripts are very low here. And yeah, just to summarize, what is it? It is a training platform which might be used by the different people with a different level of knowledge in terms of the cybersecurity, and it allows you to make the real world trainings, to run the real world specific scenarios track the progress in real time, and provides you the training materials with the theoretical and the practical sides, which allows you to see the both parts of the cybersecurity from the attacker and the defender perspective. And that's pretty much it from my side.
Okay, thank you, Artem. Now, Anje Signik from EXLA will take the floor to present the topic of today, which is SQL injection attacks. So, Anje, it's all yours.
Yeah, hello, this is Anje from EXLA. Let me share my screen in just a second. Yeah, like this. So I'm gonna say a few words about SQL injections. So what is this and why are we talking about them? And I'm going to show you a simple example of an SQL injection, and then we're gonna continue to the demo part where we're going to show you a practical example how a practical exercise looks like using the CYBERWISER.eu cyber range platform. So let's just go through this briefly. So an SQL injection is just a type of a cyber attack that can target any application which uses a database, really. So how it works? It works so that SQL statements, so database statements. Okay, apparently I have some problem with the audio. Let me see what I can do. Sorry about that. Can you hear me better now?
Not better, Anje, I guess.
Not better?
No, not better.
No, okay. Okay, maybe if you wait a minute, I can change my microphone. Just, half a minute, okay?
Yes, Anje, no worries.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Much better, Anje. Loud and clear. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry about this. Yeah, so I was here. So how do SQL injections work? They work so if SQL statements are inserted as input to the application, and this input can be parameters, any kind of parameters that user inputs to the application forms, even as parts of the URL or in cookies or in HTTP headers and so on. And this input is taken by the application, and it gets run as an SQL statement. So the database runs the user's input. And of course, this is not good because you don't want to run whatever code user provides. And well, you'll see in the example how it works. So this is just briefly. And it's interesting that the SQL injections were first mentioned already in 1998. So it's a very old type of cyber attack, but they are still one of the most common and most commonly used attacks, especially on web applications. So on the OWASP top 10 list, which is a list of most dangerous or most common web application attacks, injection is in the first place. So injection actually contains some more attack types than just SQL injection, but obviously SQL injection is one of the injection attacks. Yeah, so if I just Googled yesterday for the latest attacks using SQL injection, and apparently it's still very relevant. So just in the last months, there you can find a lot of news about attacks that happened using SQL injection on all sorts of websites. And yeah, so if I just show you a simple example, so let's say this is the code of can I get a Beamer here, highlighter, pen? Well, anyway, you can see an example code here. So let's say this is the code that the web server uses. So you can see there's a SQL query being put together. So selecting everything from accounts where customer ID is some parameter that we get from the user's request. And in the next line, you see the user puts in this URL. So viewing account where the ID is this single quote or 1 is 1. And well, in the normal operation, the ID would be just a number of the customer that the user wants to see, but this time the user was trying an SQL injection and input this string. So the resulting query where when the query sentence matches with this parameter, the result is the following, right? So selecting everything from accounts where customer ID is just quote or 1 is 1. And you see that 1 is 1 results in true in any case. So the customer ID will be actually ignored and all the accounts will be shown to the user because 1 is 1 and that's true. And that's a very simple example how this works. And in this case, the user will get all the accounts from all customers. And similarly, SQL injections can be used to modify data in the database or to delete it, or even call arbitrary code, not just database code, but also system, so OS code, which of course is very dangerous. So how can we prevent it? Of course, the developers need to keep this in mind when developing, especially web applications. All user inputs have to be sanitized and verified on the server side. Special characters can be escaped. So, for example, single quotes and stuff like this, if they're not expected, well, even if they are, they should be escaped, so they are not treated as single quotes, but they are ignored as such. Using ORM frameworks, so object relational mapping frameworks for developing database connections, and of course limiting access with using the correct permissions for accessing the database, so the lowest permissions as possible for the application to work normally. And of course, it's wise to include some security testing in the development and release phases. And if you're not developing your own web applications, but using content management systems such as WordPress, Drupal, or Joomla, these systems should be regularly updated because they get also SQL injection and other vulnerabilities are discovered in these systems quite often. Yeah, so we can just go on to the demo part. Here on the site you can see a schema, a network schema of an exercise that we have in the cyber range. There's actually quite a lot of machines, but you don't need to know everything here. I'm trying to find the beamer, but okay, I can use a pen. So the most important is here is the victim machine. So this is a web server that runs a web application that is also vulnerable to SQL injection. And here in the middle we just have a network which represents the internet. This is not so important now. And we have a couple of machines. So let me first say this is an exercise where the red team and the blue team can both work with. So the red team are attackers and the blue team are defenders. And in CYBERWISER, we can basically design exercises where both defenders and attackers can be trained. Of course, it's good to be trained as an attacker as well, because, well, if you know how to attack, then you will know how to defend or how to build safe applications. So the red team has a machine, this red workstation, from where they can attack the victim, so they can access the victim machine from here. And they have a kiosk machine, we call it, from where they can access the CYBERWISER tools. And similarly, the blue team just has this blue kiosk machine from where they can access the cyber range tools. And blue team actually also has access to the victim machine itself if they want to do any configuration. But in this case, they will just be using this kiosk machine. And then everything else is just CYBERWISER components here. And you'll see there's, I guess it's better to show just during the demo. There's some vulnerability assessment tools that are used by the platform itself and by the training teams. There's detection sensors and other tools to evaluate the performance of the trainees and so on. So the red team in this case is able to use some vulnerability detection script that is prepared in advance. So when they will use this script, they will see that there's a vulnerability in the victim machine, and then they have to write their own SQL injection to find a secret flag that is in the database, and that secret flag is actually the answer to their well, the goal. Their goal is to find this flag, and when they find it, they get all the points basically. And the blue team can just check all the tools for the detection of attack and for the risk assessment. So they will see that some attacks are happening, and their goal is just to choose a correct mitigation measure among the offered ones. So they will get some mitigation measures offered, and they will have to choose what is the best thing to do in this situation. And yeah, just a few pictures more for this schema. So what is going to happen in the demo? The white team. So the white team is the teacher. the white team is going to configure a vulnerability detection, and they will get periodically the information about whether the vulnerability is present there, or if the blue team has patched the vulnerability, so if they fixed it. But in this case, they will not fix the vulnerability in our exercise. They will just go basically through the red team mostly. So the red team, as I mentioned, they use a vulnerability detection script to see that there's a vulnerability, and then they execute an attack. And then the blue team will be able to see that there's an attack, and they will select the correct countermeasure, while the red team can obtain the secret flag from the victim machine using the attack. So the red team will have to input the secret flag to a special questionnaire, and that's how they will get graded in the system. Yeah, and that's it. So now we can just switch to the demo part. So here we have this CyberRange platform, and you can see my view as a teacher, but we have Guillermo also as the blue team.
Hello,
and
everybody.
yeah, and we also have my colleague Jan working as the red team here. So they will be the trainees, and I'm acting as the teacher here, so I can see all the machines, and they can just see a part of this diagram, and they can interact with the machines that they've been assigned to. Okay, so I think I can just, yeah. Also, I can show you here in the training part, we have already configured the SQL injection scan. So this is something that the teacher has configured. So this will run automatically. Yeah, I cannot see the configuration here, but it runs, I think, every minute or every 5 minutes to detect the SQL injection vulnerability, and just to send the results of this scan to all the other components that that can also calculate the risk assessment and the performance evaluation and so on. But yeah, we're not going to show everything in this demo, so to be a bit quicker, just yeah, going to the important things. So in my workstation as the trainer, I can also see this attack, and I can also see what the red team is doing. So the red team will just be able to see their own attacks and scans. And well, I can start the exercise now. Okay, which means that this configured scan will be started. Yeah, it's already in progress, and this will show that the SQL vulnerability is present in the victim machine. Okay, so I guess we can just go on to see what the red team is doing. So as a teacher, as I mentioned, I can see all the machines, and I can also see what the red team is doing here. So Jan is in control of this machine as the red team, and he has he's already configuring, or yeah, he has the vulnerability detection script already configured and run, and he can see that the vulnerability is present, and he can see the script. So he knows that there is a vulnerability in the victim machine. So he can go on to his workstation, and he's already in the victim machine, so in the target web page. So this is the vulnerable web application that we have here that has all sorts of vulnerabilities. So here we can see how this form works, right? When he inputs some string, the application just searches for movies with this string in the name. So now we see when he input something with a single quote inside, there was an error coming back from the application. So this is an indication that SQL injection will be possible in this form. So now he can do something similar that we saw in the example before in the slides. If he inputs this string, actually all the movies in the database will be shown. And one of the movies here actually contains the secret flag that the red team has to find and report. So this is the flag here, super secret flag, and the red team will just input this flag to the questionnaire in the CyberRange interface, which we cannot see directly, but we can see here as the teacher that something has been input. I cannot see that because we don't have the red team user configured. Yeah, anyhow, we should be able to see here the answer from our red team user. And this gets transferred then to the performance evaluation components in the scenario, and the user gets the appropriate score based on inputting this flag. There could be other questions here as well, but in this exercise, it's just the flag. Okay, so I guess we can go on to see the blue team. So the blue.
So in this scenario, I'm playing the blue team role. So I only have access to the blue kiosk machine, in which actually I can access to the victim machine in order to launch some script, or to choose, like in this case, some politics to do in the future for prevent this kind of attacks. As you can see, we have here detected the attack that the red team have made, which is an attempt to SQL injection. And in this case, there is no script to launch to solve the problem, but the blue team will have to choose countermeasure to prevent that it doesn't happen again, this kind of attack. So a lot of countermeasures will be shown, each one with different codes and rating, and the student have to choose one to apply or more. For example, if we want to validate dynamic, if we have to validate input, then we have to apply here. Or for example, use password protect the screensavers. The student will have to choose one. Let's say if we choose this one, for example. Okay. Then you will see in the performance evaluator which countermeasure have you chosen, and if you choose a right one, you get positive points, and if you choose a bad one, you get minus points. In this case, we just select one, which is right, so we get 5 out of 5. Let's say we wanna apply another one, and I don't know, we apply, for example, this one. Be aware of the fish indicators. Then we apply it, and we can see the flags are changing. Now we have one right, one is correct, and the other one is wrong, and we get 2.5 out of 5 in the punctuation for the blue team.
Okay, so yeah, here we're just able to see how the performance evaluation works, and in this simple exercise, the blue team is just choosing the correct answers
The blue team,
among the offered ones.
The blue team take the countermeasure simulator take more sin when the solution for appropriate, let's say, for another attack which can be launched, a script can be launched in order to prevent it. So, for example, in another attacks, for example, if we want to close a port, for example, we can go here, and we have here a script to apply the script, and this have a direct connection to the victim machine. So in another kind of exercise where there is like a solution script, so to say, they take more sin the countermeasure simulator. In this case, as Anche said, is just choosing the right answer to the attack.
Okay, and yeah, I think we can conclude the demo here. So you can go on to the what's next on the agenda. So thank you.
Thank you, Anche.
Okay, thank you so much. So the last point in the agenda is just a reminder on how to proceed to apply and to participate in the Open Pilot activity. If you remember my first presentation, you have the chance to try our platform for free, to go through the theoretical materials and get ready for the practical exercises that are run in our cyber range in a scenario like the one you have seen, with a network that is recreated, emulated, with the different resources that are present in that network, where they are an attacker playing the role of attacker and performing different actions on the machine. For example, executing a SQL injection attack like you have seen, and where there are defenders applying different mitigation measures. So it's a practical way to learn about cybersecurity. The philosophy is that we are likelier to know how to defend if we first learn how to attack. And I'm going to share my screen to show you how to apply to the Open Pilot activity that we have. Yes, second. Okay, so I am sharing this. So our website is CYBERWISER.eu. This is the project website. So if you go to the menu entitled Pilots, you will go to the first item, which is about the Open Pilot stream. And here you have some more information about what the pilot is about, the fact that you can train for free, that is fully customizable, that you can get access to our cyber range, which is one of the most advanced in the world, what is the purpose of doing it, and the different steps on how to apply to the Open Pilot stream, how the enrollment is done, also the requirement gathering that I commented before, also our onboarding package composed of 2 exercises, the password cracking and the SQL injection with the respective training materials. So first, you are open a workspace in our platform where you will find the materials. You will have some days to look into them carefully and learn the theory. And then we will meet at some arranged slot to access the cyber range, and there will be a link to the practical exercise from the learning platform. And then the exercise will be carried out with the guidance of one of our experts in the project. These are the 2 initial exercises, and after that you will have the chance to talk to us and discuss on the next steps and customize your learning path. It will be up to you to decide how long it will take, and our general goals in this activity, in this open pilot activity. And finally, you will get your certificate, and you will have the chance to register to the cybersecurity professional register that we have open in the context of this project. So if you click on this button here, you will have a form that you will have to fill in order to submit your application for this open pilot activity. Once we will receive it, we will contact you, and we will start the process of creating your pilot with the steps that I have described before. I really encourage you because it's a very advanced platform with very nice features that allow the possibility of training in scenarios that are closer to the real world without endangering your productive environment. So it's something worthwhile, and there is a lot of work and a lot of effort behind it, almost for 2 years, and we are now in the final stage of the project, and we would like to get as much feedback as possible from the end users in order to improve the platform and to make it better for future usage already in commercial projects. So this is my invitation to you to join the pilot. I think that at this point we could go to the questions. Okay, first one I have here is about the creation of the scenarios. Maybe Artem, you could answer that, how the scenarios are created and the kind of process that are behind it.
Yeah, sure, but unfortunately I don't see where the questions.
There is a question and answer part in the Zoom.
Yeah. Now I see. Yeah, so about the how to create these scenarios, we have a built-in the process and method of the development training scenarios. So it definitely contains this separate sides. So the first is we need to design from the theoretical perspective what needs to be done. We need to orchestrate the all activities which needs to be there, and to define and set up the proper components as you see during the presentation. But then using the graphical user interface of the cyber range, you can combine all of them together and use for trainings. So the short answer is that scenarios development is going, the practical part is developed inside of the cyber range platform. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Artem. More questions. Have you ever heard about a SQL injection attack on a graph database? In my case, never. Maybe Ange or Guillermo, do you know anything about this?
Yeah, I haven't really heard about actual injection on a graph database, but I'm sure it's possible. I mean, not exactly an SQL injection, strictly speaking, because as graph databases are no SQL, it wouldn't be strictly SQL, I guess, but there can be injections also in other types of databases, yes. But I can't say anything more specific here.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I actually don't know in this moment about one, but I'm sure it's possible to do it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question is, what type of training materials do you have? Okay, we have PowerPoints, slides. We include videos as well, and also we include compendium that support the content of the slides. So we include PDFs with extended texts about the different topics included in the course. For intermediate evaluation, we include quizzes. In this, we are using a learning platform that is based on Moodle technology. Those belonging to the academia maybe know about this technology. Basically that's it. We also include audio in the materials in order to support also the text. And in our experience, Moodle is an environment that is comfortable for the learning process and is friendly to use for people. Even if they have never used it, the learning curve is nice. So it's not a major problem. And linked to these training materials, you will have the practical exercises for which you will see a link open when we will arrange the sessions. And this links with the next question I am seeing here, how the training sessions are arranged. First, when you register to the Open Pilot, and we will discuss with you your needs, and we set up everything, we will create your workspace in the platform, so a workspace assigned to your organization. Associated to that workspace, we will have the list of users, people you want to be included in the training. They will be assigned the users and the credentials to log in. When they will log in, they will see the training materials available, and they will have some days to look into them. And with some notice period, we will arrange a training session at a specific time slot. In this time slot, we will join to a conference link, and there will be from the training materials, you will see an open link to our cyber range, and then you will go to our cyber range through a single sign-on system, and you will land on the exercise where you will see the emulated network. And in that network, you will have an assigned machine, a virtual machine, from which you will perform the different actions expected in the exercise. Basically, that's how it works. Okay, when can we start with the training? Okay, our welcome package is already available. So as soon as you register your request, we will contact you, and it won't take too long to actually start the exercise. After the welcome package, we will discuss with you what you want next. And depending on what you want, it's important to know that the project is still running. We are still developing exercises. If you want something that is already done on our site, it will be available and you can do it right away. If not, it will have to be delayed until it is ready from our development team. Not sure if we have more questions from the audience. Can't see any other. Okay, so I think this is what we have from your side. Well, I think that at this point we can close the webinar. I would like to say thank you for your interest and for joining. I hope that it has been interesting for you, and that you will join us in the next webinar we will organize. There are some other attacks we would like to talk about in them. So please stay tuned, because we will publish our next webinar. I think it will be soon. So I hope to see you there. And of course, if you find interesting to be part of our open pilot, don't hesitate to join, because everybody is welcome. Okay. Thank you also to our panelists for their work today, and also for being present for the question and answers. Okay. Have a nice day, everyone.